Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 3 at Saratoga on Saturday kicks off the graded stakes portion of the card. It is the Grade 2 Prioress. $250,000 is the purse. This race for 3-year-old fillies. Lots of nice races to bet at the Spa on Saturday. Get involved with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at drf.com/bet. Grab that $100 in deposit matches and start firing away. Let's take a look at the field for the Grade 2 Prioress. Mike, I know you're disappointed. No show wagering in this race with a field of 6. And Dave Grenning on DRF.com reports that there's a chance that there could be some scratches. South of France, Break Curfew, Royal Charlotte, the 1, 4, and 5 are already cross-entered on Wednesday. Seems like nobody wants to face Break Even.
It's sort of surprising that for a $250,000 race for this division, they really couldn't get a field together for. You do have Break Even, who I think is one of the leaders of this division. Outside of that in this field, there's not that much to go on.
And you'd think that these fillies would at least want to run to try to get a valuable graded stakes placing, especially a horse like the number 1 South of France. Sure, she's 20-1 on the morning line. She won 3 straight races to close out her juvenile campaign, and then she returned off of a lengthy layoff with this performance against a strong older filly in Talk Veuve to Me. We see her on the outside right now. She is going to be able to get up for second in here behind Talk Veuve to Me. All things considered, off the layoff, Mike, this was a solid performance. She's just a little slow on paper.
Yeah, I mean, as a starting off point, you could say this was fine. Talk Veuve to Me is, just too good for her, but she rallied for second. 75 buyers suggest she's way too slow to win a race like this, but maybe she can take a step forward.
The number 2 Risky Mandate is perfect from 2 lifetime starts. Debut winner going 6.5 at Churchill Downs. Came back against a couple of older runners in the entry-level allowance race we'll show right now at Saratoga. And I thought this was more a workmanlike performance where she didn't break very well. She ended up tracking the pace inside. She comes outside this pace setter, Fair Regis, and she eventually wears her down. It was far from a brilliant performance, but I actually like her cutting back to 6. And if Break Curfew breaks the chops of Break Even, maybe it sets things up for Risky Mandate.
Yeah, I mean, she's all upside at this point. I really liked her debut. I thought she looked really good winning. I'll give her a little extra credit for winning that race that we just looked at right there, if only because the pace was a lot faster than the one she saw first time out. She kept after it. She was getting away at the end. I thought she ran really well in both of her starts then. I think she has a lot of upside, and this race didn't come up that strong for a Grade 2.
But the star coming into this show is the number 3 Break Even, a perfect 6 for 6 in her career, and her game is speed. Let's go back to her most recent start on dirt. 2 back in the Jersey Girl, where she just able to get to a nice, easy lead. She ran her half in 44-3 while clear. Does it concern you that she's a bit all out to hold off Sue's Fortune, a horse that would still be a price in this race?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It did seem like that she was going to win for fun there through upper stretch, and then it got a little bit close at the end. We'll see if that makes a difference, Dan. She's just so fast, and she towers over this field on figures. They cannot keep up with her early. 6 furlongs is a great distance for her. And you can just tell by looking at her PP, she doesn't have to take her track with her. There's just a lot to like about her in this race.
And she scored in her prep last time out on turf in her grass debut, the Coronation Cup. Timeform US concurs that she's the horse to catch and beat, and I think everyone would agree with that. Although the 4 Break Curfew, this is a horse that's been on the lead in her last 4 races. Now, she's been doing it against much weaker competition, claimed for $75,000 out of her most recent start. We'll watch that race right now. Chad Brown had her. She's on the rail. She made the lead. She keeps on going. She's supposed to beat these sort of horses. It's going to be a different story if she has to chase Break Even. But maybe if she's gunned out of there, she could hurt Break Even.
Yeah, we'll see if she can put pressure on. I'd be surprised if she could keep up with that horse early, but maybe she can do it. What you'll notice about this race that you're watching right now is there's just no passing going on. She got to the lead. Carrizo tracked her, was second. Nobody made up any ground from behind. I think it's a different story in this race.
Royal Charlotte won her first 4 starts like she could be a very useful sprinting filly for Chad Brown. She got bet to 5-2 in the test. And okay, the speed duel never materialized in the test. Gafefi and Serengeti Empress, they actually ran 1-2 all the way around the track. But Royal Charlotte was awful. I have no idea what happened in that race. If this field stays intact and the 4 can at least push the 3, doesn't Royal Charlotte trip out?
It feels like she's supposed to, and it feels like she's supposed to be the biggest threat to Break Even in this race if she shows up and runs her race. We'll see if she can do it. I don't know what happened in the test last time. but she couldn't keep up from early on in that race. She was under pressure almost right from the start, and she had nothing in the stretch. I know she's better than that, Dan, but will she rebound in this race?
Trainer Leah Giamardi's done a very nice job with the 6, kept true. She has returned for 2 starts this year, both wins against statebreds, including this score in an off-the-turf race going 5.5 furlongs. She's already assumed control going into the lane. Now, she won this race in pace-pressing fashion. If she is to win the Prioress, she is going to have to come from well off of the pace. But I like the job Leah's done with this horse, and maybe she can get, some black type.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I like this horse. I've liked her from the start. I don't know if she's really an open graded stakes kind of horse, but she has improved as a 3-year-old, and she's pretty good.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 2 Prioress. This race could scratch down. Break Even is Way the horse to catch and beat. I'm hoping that the race stays intact and that Break Curfew might go after Break Even just a little bit. I liked what I've seen from Risky Mandate's first 2 starts. She's obviously going to be a little bit of a better price, but it's hard to have a lot of confidence going against Break Even. I went 2-3.
Yeah, I just didn't want to pick against this horse. She just looks too good to me in this race. We'll see what happens. I went 3-5 and 2.
We'll see if Break Even can make it 7 for 7 for trainer Brad Cox. She's been unstoppable thus far on dirt and turf, and she's going to be a big favorite in the Grade 2 Priors. If you want to bet against her, heck, if you want a single or play her with a DRF Bets account, sign up very easy at drf.com/bet, and you get a $100 deposit match. Approximate post time for the Prior is no show wagering, Mike, 1:36 Eastern. Good luck.